the stage. Thank you so much. You may be seated. I don't see the HOD, I think is coming. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, good morning. Absheni, Ndimacheloni, Huyemwore, Sanbonani, Dumelang, Molweni, Tobela, Bondia. Thank you so much. My name is Dennis Makwakwa. I'm the Chief Director responsible for the Johannesburg region. My task today is to coordinate and run this short program, which I hope is going to be very effective. Just to orientate you on the program, we're going to be having the opening and welcome. Then we'll take our national anthem. Then we will request the ward councillor to come forward if he's around. If he's not, we'll request our HOD to welcome us. From there, we'll have an input by a member of Gauteng Provincial Legislature, Member Adams, who's the chair in the legislature, who's going to make an input. From there, we'll have remarks by our MEC. After that, we'll have inputs on parental involvement. There are colleagues and stakeholders who will be making those inputs. From there, we'll open the floor for more inputs. Then we'll get responses and we close. So it's not going to be a very long program. Having said that, I want to take this opportunity to welcome you all to this Imbizo. When you received the invite, you were briefed that this Imbizo is not just an ordinary Imbizo. It is the MEC Imbizo to focus on school safety and related challenges, especially that affects the safety of our schools and the safety of our learners. So this Imbizo is not only happening here, it's going to be taking place in all the regions in the province, so that inputs from different regions will be consolidated and will come up with a strategy that will be a product of a collaboration between the department, our stakeholders, our SGP, and everybody who is interested in education. So if we are to focus today, we want to be able to respond on issues of electricity, and it's only on safety, especially for schools. So if there would be those issues that you may want to raise, please note that we will capture them but necessarily respond to them, because this focus for today is only on education-related matters. I think the MEC in his input will also indicate what is it that the department has done to date in trying to address some of the challenges. But we'll also want to hear from yourselves to say, what can we put on the table to assist the department and everybody else to deal with these issues that are confronting our schools. So, without wasting time, I want to acknowledge the presence of our ward councillor, who is here with us. Where's the ward councillor? Oh, yeah, the ward councillor. Masha. Councillor Masha, welcome. And you can just wave to the people. This is our ward councillor who's blessed this city. So, the councillor will also be welcoming us, as I've indicated, but also will take the opportunity to introduce our MEC who will be addressing us at a later stage. With that said, may we all rise and sing the national anthem. Anybody with a beautiful voice to lead us? Thank you so much. MEC, as directed by yourself, in our meeting today, we are blessed by the presence of our ward councillor, Mr. Masha. We are also blessed by the presence of Member Adams, who is the chair of chair in the legislature. We are also blessed with the presence of our HOD in the Department of Gauteng Education, Ndate Rufus Mutlana. Ndate Mutlana, you can just wave to. We are also in our midst having 5 district directors responsible for the 5 districts in the region. We have got 5 district officials. We have SGPs from schools. We have got SGP associations in present. We have school principals present today. We have QLTC members present today. We have NGOs that are here with us today. We also have members from the SAPS represented by Brigadier Joseph and I think from the province, and also Colonel Sitebe from Kliptown SAPS. We also have teacher and teacher formation. We also have learner formation present today. So MEC, it is almost a Imbizo that is well represented in terms of the structures that needs to assist us dealing with these challenges. So without wasting time, may I call upon to the podium our ward councillor to come and officially welcome us to Ward 11. A round of applause for our ward councillor.
Thank you very much, Program Director. I'd like to take this opportunity to acknowledge and welcome the MEC of Education, Mr. Matume Chilwan. Let me also take this opportunity to acknowledge the members of SAPS, Colonel Sitebe, all our community structures and leaders of the community. Let me also welcome and acknowledge the principals around these areas, the SGP of the school, and most importantly, our residents of Ward 11. It is a very important Imbizo to have, and we welcome any inputs that will be coming from the community directed to the government. I'd like to also take this opportunity to make you aware of the fact that it is a very serious discussion that we need to have today about the safety of our kids and the community. We have many issues that we face on a daily basis because of these gangs and drug use. So it is very important for us to engage today. With those little words, I welcome you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ward Councillor. And I think everybody said the emphasis. Let's all participate and engage on issues that are affecting the safety of our kids. But ultimately, let us come with a solution to address those challenges. At this point in time, I will want to invite Member Adams from the Gauteng Provincial Legislature, who is the chair of chairs, and was very passionate about issues of education and youth development. And I think he's going to motivate us and share his insight around the challenges that we're facing. Thank you so much, and over to you, sir.
Thank you, Program Director. Good morning, everybody. Are you well? It's nice to be on. One, two. Thank you so much. Supply chain management. 1, 2. Maybe we must. One, two. Can I use my pastor's voice? One of the major supply chain management is issues like this. So when people for services. Partners in legislature for years. We've been working together in the education department and also now in sports, rec, arts and culture, because he has a due responsibility. He is a man who has a lot upon his shoulders, so he deals with education issues as the MEC of Education, and also for his sons, he has been given the portfolio of sports, rec, arts and culture. Let's give him a hand for being here this morning, everybody. I also want to greet the councillor this morning, who is with us, and also the HOD, Rufus, and all the directors that are present, all the leaders of the community that are present here today. I see some familiar faces that are present here, and I want to welcome all of you to the all-important Imbizo on school safety. Now, when I got the notice that MEC was coming to Eldos and Klipspruit, I did not need an invitation to come. I came on my own volition and my own accord. Cherished to be here with you guys today, and just to share with you a few things. Thank you for the MEC allowing me to say a few words. MEC, for your information, sir, our communities, in our constituencies, more than most, I would think, is hemorrhaging when it comes to school violence. Our schools are literally being kept hostage in our communities. It is of paramount importance, and I came to say this very emphatically, unapologetically today, that this Imbizo must deliver something. This Imbizo mustn't be us just ranting and raving. There must be constructive solutions on how do we deal with school safety. Because MEC, as you are aware of the fact, and your department, is that we are facing a scourge of killings on our school premises, with guns coming into the schools, councillor, knives, dangerous weapons are being brought into the schools. Gangs are operating openly in our schools. Our educators and principals are not safe in our schools. Our learners are not safe in the schools. So, and I'm glad that program director said today, we cannot be about talking as important as electricity and water is, and housing issues, but this Imbizo is so designed to deal specifically with the issues of school safety. So today, as we leave here, MEC, I have advocated strongly in our communities to the Premier to say, we need metal detectors in our schools. Money must be spent. Look, let me say this, and I don't want to be long. But we have to spend money and budget when it comes to school safety. We cannot skimp around the safety of our children. When the parents send their children to school, they want to send their children to a safe environment, not to a war zone. And that's why today, MEC, with your department, as the oversight mechanism in legislature, I would plead and ask that when we do budgets and when we do adjustment budgets in February, it is important that money be spent in our schools to make sure that our principals and educators and our learners are safe. The second issue is the issue of scholar transport. There is a major challenge in terms of some people not even having the proper documentation to transport our children. Today we have to deal with it. In my closing remarks, as I close now, the MEC will do the keynote address and speak to you. We have to leave here dealing with these issues so that when Monday comes, we must know there's a plan. And I would lastly say, HOD, it can't be an Imbizo and then you are gone. In fact, you need to come back to this community with the resolutions and make sure that the decisions that are taken are all implemented so that the children of our schools and school safety gets the highest priority. I thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much, Member Adams. I think the message was loud and clear. And all of us, not only the department, all of us will have to respond to those challenges and see how best to address them. At this point in time, I'm going to invite our head of department, Ndade Rufus Mutlana, to come and I know he does not have a teacher voice, but he's going to try today. He's going to make a few inputs and then officially introduce our MEC.
Thank you very much, Ntate Makwakwa, Program Director. Thanks for the opportunity. I just want to indicate that I used to be a shop steward during my youth days. I also used to be an SRC member during my student days, so I could address masses without any mics. Today is an important day, Program Director and all attendees. You have been acknowledged, all of you, especially the dignitaries. But I just want upfront to acknowledge also the is it working now? Thank you. I want to also MEC and Chair of Chairs and all dignitaries here to acknowledge some of the people who are involved in learner discipline, school safety in our communities on a daily basis. And these are district officials, school principals and teachers, school safety officials in various districts, psychosocial teams from the head office and the district, parents and SGBs in schools, teacher organizations and all other NGOs who are involved in our schools in dealing with school safety. Acknowledge you because I normally argue at the head office to say that those people who are giving this support, they should also to some extent be given counseling because they deal with this matter, they see this matters at first hand. Before we rush to the scene where a learner has been stepped or something happened, already these officials are there. But when we provide counseling, we provide it to the learners, to the parents, and to everybody else, we forget about them. And I want also to move that today, we're also acknowledging them. And today is the 2nd of November. It's an important day in the calendar of the Gauteng Department of Education. We know that there are many other events which are taking place today. Some of you would have been in funerals, weddings, We know that there's also soccer matches, there are summer awards tonight, etc., etc. But in education department, we felt that today is a day when we need to visit this particular ward, this particular school, this particular region to address school safety. When MEC wanted to convene this particular Imbizo, I was resisting. MEC, we've got exams. We're dealing with other matters. Can we move it to January? And MEC said, this is an important matter. It cannot be delayed. We need to have our Imbizo now and not later. Hence, we are here today. And the program director indicated that we are starting with Johannesburg. And we'll be on a roller coaster to ensure that we cover all the districts. The MEC, I want to indicate that this MEC is for education, sports, recreation, and culture. He's overstretched, but when he addresses us in most of our GD Lokotla, he normally defines what a good school is. And he, just to paraphrase him, he normally says that a good or an excellent school is a school which is well managed. Basically mean to say that it will be under a good principal SMT, a school which is safe, a school where proper learning and teaching takes place, a teaching where OHS compliance is in order. And that can be defined as a good school. We cannot just define a good school in terms of teaching and learning, but we do it in terms of all those categories. In his address today, he'll be looking, re-emphasizing that particular message. You'll know that in the program we are saying MEC will be giving remarks, and it's intentional. As I call him on stage, he'll be doing remarks. Why remarks? Why not a keynote address? MEC is not here today just to tell you or to pump you with information. He's doing remarks so that he can also encourage you, give you energy to can feedback. He's also here to listen to you as key stakeholders in education, key stakeholders in communities. What are you telling the department in terms of learner discipline and school safety? Therefore, he's not only coming here to talk, he's coming with sharp ears to listen together with all of us so that we can know what are the challenges or issues regarding school safety in this particular region, ward, district, and surrounding schools. MEC, allow me to call you on stage to come and give us your remark. Our leader, and we believe that the mandate you gave us to convene this particular Imbizo in this region today has been realized. And I want to confirm, MEC, that we are here as parents and other stakeholders under the, or affirming African proverb which says, it takes a village to raise a child. But that particular African proverb will only be realized if we actively, as all stakeholders, participate. And I believe that your keynote address today, MEC Matume Kopano Chilwani, will ignite that particular discussion. Over to you, MEC.
Thank you, HOD. The mic seems to be working fine, Bishop. We knew that it's going to disturb you. So we had to switch it off so that he can, because you saw when he was speaking, he was captured by the spirit. So we had to release you from the mic. Thank you so much. Good morning. Goeiemorgen. The Chief Director, I see that I've rubbed on you. Abshin, Molweni, Dumelang, Sanbonani. What did I miss? Nda. We need to greet in all languages as much as possible. The only one that I'm missing is the sign language, which I'm still practicing. I'll get there. But how do you go about it? Yes. That's how you greet in sign language. It's important that we know this, the 12th language. In fact, before I start, I need to tell you amongst the things that we're doing in our schools. We have a program called Multi-Certification Skills Program. In that program, we're teaching all our grade 5s, all of them, how to communicate in basic sign language. So all our children in the future, they will be able to communicate with each other. So in Gauteng, this is the first. You must clap hands because we are parents in schools in Gauteng. We are the only province that does that. That is actually preparing our children to communicate with each other and really understand each other. So all our grade 5s will be teaching them the basic sign language communication so that they can communicate with their peers, they can communicate with their family members, and so forth. Program Director, Chief Director Makwakwa, the Head of Department, Mr. Rufus Mutlana, and all the senior managers that we have present here from the Department of Education. Honorable Chair of Chairs, thanks for coming through. I know how you feel about this particular community. It's very dear to him, this particular community. And I must say, he's a staunch advocate in the provincial government across, but mainly he's always saying that you can't leave my constituency behind in every opportunity. You know, one case in point, I always remind this thing, is around when we were dealing with the wardens, the crime prevention wardens. He came and approached provincial government and said, no, the wardens can't be mainly Africans or blacks in particular. He says there's minorities that need to be considered. So you have to create a special dispensation for minorities to also form part of the wardens. And actually we did that. A significant number of wardens now of coloureds, Indians, 2,500 coloureds, Indians and whites are part of wardens. And that's mainly because of the advocacy by our honourable member Adams. So the community must know that. The leadership of provincial commissioners or police, is that Lieutenant Colonel? I always struggle with these titles. Now I know them as station commanders or commissioners, but now the ranks have changed. Lieutenant Colonel, Lieutenant General, somewhere there, Brigadier. But yeah, the leadership of the law enforcement agency that we have here, which are very critical stakeholders, the SGBs, principal, teachers, and parents, and all the various NGOs that really work with the Department of Education or basic education in general. We are recognized and learn organizations. And I see the media is here, members of the media. I think you are a very important stakeholder to really get this message out there of some of the work that interventions that we're doing. I need to firstly express my gratitude to just come to these communities. It's important. This Imbizo or engagement with yourself, it's long overdue. I remember a few weeks back, there was when they were preparing for this Imbizo, people were communicating that the Imbizo is actually taking place. And it signaled to me that the communities, in particular, I know that Cliffspruit West and Eldos, and generally in the South, there's an urgent need to deal with the challenges that are happening in our schools. Today we're discussing school safety. We're discussing the parameters that are enforced by this fence around the schools. But we can't discuss school safety without an understanding that a school is a microcosm of the community. What happens in the community always finds itself in our schools. And I'm going to be a bit controversial, you'll agree with me or not. But children, I don't like to use this thing, but they always say, monkey see, monkey do. Kids will always copy whom they see as role models or elders do, and they'll copy it. There is no child that grows up and says, I'm going to be carrying a weapon to a school, unless there's somebody who's older, who's infusing that mentality in the child. There's no child who grows up and says, I'm going to be a drug dealer, or I'm going to sell drugs in the school, unless there's an elder who's telling that child that you can do that and it's correct. And we have to be honest with those reality, with that reality. In these communities, for instance, they say, for example, the gangsterism. You can't say as a parent, you wake up in the morning, you are greeting your child, and you say, wash. And then you expect the child to get to school and say good morning. The child won't say good morning. He's going to say wash because he had wash at home. And that's the truth of the matter. Our kids are divided because parents and communities are divided. It's a fact. Our kids will align with Faraday or what? Farados and fast guns. Because the parents at home are fast guns or Farados. I'm not saying all parents, by the way, but the communities are divided as such. And kids by nature are vulnerable. They need security. That's why we say they are the most vulnerable groups. And because they're vulnerable, it's easy for them to align with bullies, with gangsters, because they feel that if I'm part of this gang, or I'm friends with this bully, I will not be bullied. So literally these bullies and gangs act as a form of security for our children. They are outside, but they will always find themselves in our schools. There's been a couple of incidences where children were found in possession of very dangerous weapons. Very dangerous weapons. Including a firearm, Honorable Adams. A firearm in recent cases. I don't want to speak about knives. It seems like it's a normal thing. And that is not normal, parents and community members and SGP. It's not normal. It can't be normal. I'm deliberately saying this because I want us as elders to begin to also shoulder some form of responsibility of what is happening in instances in our own schools. What we are teaching our kids. Because kids, no one is born with a violent, divisive, racially mind, but they are taught over time by those that are dear to them, who are close to them. And in most cases, it's from the home. I've received incidents report, Lieutenant Colonel Kiraitanker. Am I correct? Thank you. Yeah? Colonel Seteb. Or Colonel Seteb. That there's been killing of children recently in our communities, in our immediate communities, due to gang violence. And what happens is that the association of the death will then find itself in school because children of both gangs are in the same school. So this is a problem. It's a big problem. We don't even need to spend money to secure schools if our communities are doing what they're supposed to be doing to protect the school. Because a school is a development center for your kids to grow. Their future lies there. So there's no need, really, to even spend money. I'm not speaking this because I don't have an evidence to show you communities where schools are protected by them. Joburg West, that SOS, Raymond Mhlaba, is it correct? It's in Tsepiso. And if you know the community of Tsepiso, you know the challenges of that area. You know the challenges of that area. But that school is protected by the community. Nobody vandalizes that school. Nobody breaks into that school. Nobody tampers with the infrastructure of that school. Because the community in that area understands the value of that school. Because for them, that school is the only way out for their kids to go out and become better people. So we don't have to put money there. We know that the community is doing their work. I can name many schools across Gauteng and such. So I don't want to turn our schools into military camps. Honorable Adams, I agree, maybe perhaps metal detectors there and there, but really, when you bring metal detector, it means you are dealing with metal. Knives, guns, etc., machetes. I don't want that. Because a school is a development center. It's where a child grows. In fact, just to tell you, parents, why a child comes to school, it's for three things, HOD. A child comes to school, firstly, to meet and make friends. That's why a child comes to school. The first thing they do when they arrive at school, they want their friends. Secondly, is to learn. They know that you must go and learn. And thirdly, is to play. You missed a component of extracurricular activity. Is to play and participate in sports and all those things. That's why they come to school, children. Only for those three things. So if we can't guarantee their safety in those particular schools, they can't play because they're scared. So even a school leadership, they can't even conceive an extracurricular activity because they are worried just generally just to keep those kids for 5 hours and release them. So they're in survival mode. So these are some of the challenges that we've been seeing. We've picked up fights of gangs, which I've spoken to, and I still say, I blame the community here. I blame the parents, because they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing, taking a keen interest in their children when they're coming to school. Even when you do parents' meeting, some parents don't come. In fact, majority of parents don't even come. I know some parents who the first time they've seen a report of their child is the last end of year report when they ask a question, did you pass or fail? That's the only time they know there's a report. But in between the whole year, they're not even there. They don't even ask What is the performance of the child? Is the child going to school? What is happening? We've also have a challenge of conflicts of youth who are out of school, fighting with learners who are in school. We've had quite a number of incidences such as those, where children are not in school, but they are relatively almost the same age as those that are in school. They wait for them outside the school gate and attack our children. Colonel Sitebe. They wait for our kids outside the school gate and attack them. To a point where some incidents they kill them. Because I've had incidences in your area, Kajed, where they are killed by youth out of school, waiting for children just here at the gate. We've had incidences where some armed criminals have entered our schools to rob learners. And this is I'm putting on your doorstep, Colonel, the police, to rob learners and even educators. In fact, there was one discussion with one of my colleagues, one of the MEC was saying to me that in some areas in their province, gangs or criminals wait for teachers to get paid. On payday, they come into the school with what is this machine? Yoko. The swipe machine, yes. Thieves, criminals, they come with that Yoko machine to come hold them, to rob them, to swipe their salaries. I'm putting that at your doorstep. It's the duty of police. Theft of our school equipment, especially during holidays, bullying, fights between educators and learners. We've seen a couple of videos where a teacher was fighting with learners. It was in Johannesburg region at school, Rivali, where a learner was attacking a teacher. And I'm specific here. A learner attacking a teacher. Teachers don't come to school to come and attack children. Openly. A teacher doesn't wake up and say, today I'm going to attack that child and I'm going to fight with him or her. But learners, because of lack of discipline, they attack the teacher to a point where the teacher reaches breaking point. And by the time the video is there, you might find the teacher is the one now on top attacking. And then you assume that that teacher came to attack that child. And I have to tell you, now I'm protecting teachers because these are the backbone of the education system. Without teachers, there's no education, by the way. You must always remember that. There's no school without teachers. They are very important, including the learners, of course. But in this case, I'm speaking about educators that find themselves in compromised situations. Some learners, the lack of the ill discipline is even shocking. It's shocking. It makes me wonder that what is the parent doing? If the child is like this at school, at home, again, it takes us back to parental involvement. We've done quite a number of interventions as just to keep our schools safe. Firstly, they adopt a school, adopt a COP program Colonel Setebe, it's not working. Because police are not doing their work in that program. It's not working. It's a good program. We want it to work, but it's not happening. Because I always ask schools, this one, is there a cop that is associated with the school? Majority of schools says no. It's not working. I've raised this with Provincial Commissioner Mtombeni, and I think there's a Deputy Kekana, is the one who's responsible, that this program is not working. Not because it's not an important program. We need this program, but it's not there because the cops, the police are not doing what they're supposed to do. Just be there. Do you know the impact of visibility? You know it better. Just having a van here, especially those difficult schools, just park in the morning at the gate. If they are relaxed, police, they can go out of their van, and if they're smoking, they smoke, but just be seen. The impact of that will be so enormous. Even those who are carrying weapons, want to take them into the school, they will not enter with them because they will see police there. I can tell you nobody wants to be arrested. They can act all, no one wants to go to jail. No one. Even those who are in jail don't want to be there. No one, especially our children. Just the visibility of a police officer will go a long way. And we've done research as a province, which gave us 245 schools that we identified as schools at risk. We say they're at risk because of the communities which they find themselves at. Because a school is a microcosm, as I've said. What happens in the schools is generally brought from outside. We identified 245 schools in our province in that condition, in that state. Out of that, we identified 75 that are in the extreme rate, extremely at high risk. Westbury, Eldos, Reche Park, Soshanguve, some in Amaskara. We're just in Tembisa. We identify those schools that are in the extreme rate. Now, if police can just work us with us on that 75, you borrow 75 vans in the morning, you borrow 75 vans after school. It will go a long way to get our schools right there. It's just 75. Those are schools at risks. Provincial government, collaboration with the wardens. I was saying to the Premier that the wardens, yes, they do help with the search and seizure, together with the police, etc. But what I know they are not security. They will not want to stay in their school the whole day, stuck at the gate. So they come in the morning, they do what they have to, and then they go. After some time, when they feel that everything stabilized, because obviously with the police, they have to do other community protection work. We have patrollers that we have an agreement with the Department of Community Safety. However, what we have seen is that even patrollers need protection. No, these are our people that we know, our community, genuine community members who are interested in the safety of the communities, but they're not trained to do the work that we're putting them there to do. So when a criminal comes, are wena ujafatse mdala khona. So the only thing we'll get is a report, ore ba chemical festere ba thewa bankadaleke ba tsamaya. But you can't blame them because they're not trained. You know, it's a deterrent. For us, they are deterrent. But we have them. You know, we have them. We have an MOU with community safety for about 5,000 of them to be visible in our schools. And I have to say, some of them actually have gone beyond the call of duty, where we even lost one of them trying to protect a school who was killed because they're not trained for this thing. We then put security guards, private security, because we know that with private security, they will stay there. And that program has been relatively successful because we have received a report from some of the schools that since we deployed the security at our school, there's a bit of, there's teaching and learning, there's stability, you know, learners feel safer, educators feel safer at school because there's this security that is there. But it's not a sustainable intervention because it's not budgeted for, it's not sustainable, but it's a desperate move by GDE and also other, in fact, education departments across the country to stabilize our schools when they're in a dire state of conflict. It has worked. Kalabucha. Yes, Kalabucha was one also school which was very bad. Literally, we had a child in one of the schools here, Kalabucha, I think, where the child said in a school, told the principal that, mina ngifuna ukuba inkabi mina. Angifuni isikolo mina. Ngifuna ukuba inkabi. For those who know Nkabi is a hitman. The child said, I don't want school. I want to be a hitman. And he left, kicked the gates at school, he just left. Just like that. But with this intervention, comprehensive intervention, we were able to stabilize schools in those areas. We've also picked up that we have a challenge with the SGB safety committees. The safety committees in the SGB, these are the critical cog that should get the school safety right. And I'm going to tell you now, parents, that these school safety committees, they don't attend training. We offer training, they don't come at all. And then you wonder what's happening with the school. It's because the parental component that you elected to lead this is not committed. They don't come for training. I mean, and with this training, they will also know what type of intervention they need to get the school right. To get schools right is not complex. It's not difficult. And this one I can put my head on the block. If you have a good principal, like our principal here, where is she? Yes. Our good principal. You will have a school like this. It's clean. You know teaching and learning is happening here. You know there's extracurricular activities taking place here. And it doesn't take a year to turn around a school. 2 months is more than enough to turn around a school. 6 months is a lot. I told some principal that if you want to discipline your learners, if you are saying gates close at 7:30, close the gate. Close the gate. First day you're going to have a problem. Tomorrow close at 7:30. There will be less who will be late. By end of the week, they will know that 7:30 gates close. They'll be on time. That's the first step. But if you don't close at 7:30, and you are a principal, you are late, and teachers are late, are waiting for you, they will not be disciplined at school. Because a principal is a manager. If a manager manages, the staff will work. And holding people accountable. Then you can deal with the other aspects. So, that's what we have seen. And we know that for a fact. And we do have an intervention around our principals so that they can start also being where we know we have a challenge. We've also picked up lastly, towards my conclusion, yes, Honorable Madams, I agree with you with regard to private scholar transport. We don't know these private scholar transports. And it's another big problem. You see our kids coming to school, there's loud music. There's my piano at 7 o'clock in the morning. You know, the child gets there, still dancing in their mind. They forgot that they're coming to school. They're dancing in their mind. I also see a lot of videos, HOD, of learners dancing. I'm hoping they're dancing during breaks because they're always trending. I don't know what time they dance, but they're dancing. So they dance in the morning, there's loud. We don't know if this person who's driving them got licenses, PDP. And here schools must take responsibility as well. We need to know who's bringing the children to school. The schools must begin to register. They should register the scholar transport driver. We'll be having the scholar transport in Imbizo as well later on. The reason we're having these Imbizos is not talk shops. We're trying to find solutions with stakeholders. That's what we're trying to do. It's not to say we are naive, we don't know, or oblivious about what is happening. We know what is happening, but we do feel that somehow let's also get another angle which can then collaboratively, we're able then to resolve the problems that are faced by our schools. That's why we're having these discussions. It's not talk shops, it's decisions that will be coming out and we'll be implementing them. I want our schools in Gauteng to be safe. Schools must be safe. A school must have proper infrastructure, well maintained. A school must be functioning. Proper teaching and learning must adequately take place. We find ourselves, I see this in townships in most of the case. In Model C schools, on weekends, they're playing sports. If you go to those schools, there's some sports activity taking place. But in the township, it's extra lessons. No, it's extra lessons on weekends. It's not normal, I think. I'm trying to understand, what are you doing during the week? If you want to teach our kids on Saturday, when our kids are supposed to be playing soccer, netball, rugby, whatever sporting code they should be doing, our kids are in extra classes. It's a problem, I think. So, proper teaching and learning should be taking place during school hours. And also, most importantly, have a comprehensive extracurricular program. Every child, and I've instructed the HOD that our schools, by the end of the year, the last report, we might not have begun this year, but from next year, parents must know. We are going to write there in your report of your child. Your child, so and so, participated in this sport. Or your child, so and so, did not do anything the whole year. So that parents know that their child are not doing anything. And the schools will have a responsibility to make sure that every child does some form of extracurricular, whether it's sports, whether it's the creative side, dancing, singing, acting, but every child in our school must do something in a year to enhance and develop other interest and activity. So that will form part of the reports going forward so that parents know if their children are involved in something in schools. If they're not, you will know that there's a problem. And as a responsible parent, you'll go to the school and ask, why is my child not participating in sports? Then they'll have to explain, your child is like the MEC Matume, can't play soccer. So we are going to put him to do acting or chess or something. But we need to have those. We have to move away from that period where we said, COVID has come and gone. We can't blame that there was COVID, it's over. We're not discussing COVID here. Life is back to normal, and our children we have a responsibility to make sure that our children understand and they enjoy their schooling career. Schools are here to produce doctors, lawyers, presidents, all the progressive people to turn our nation around. So let's make sure that we take them to that point. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. It deserves another round of applause. Thank you so much, MEC, with your thought-provoking remarks. I think all of us are sitting here, we've been challenged. But what is key from what the MEC has indicated or has shared with us is that as a community, we must protect our schools. If that can be the starting point to say, what role are we playing to protect our school? Everything else will fall into play. And what is it that we must achieve? As the MEC has indicated, we'll have safe schools, we'll have happy learners, and we'll have learners that develop to be better citizens. So I think that was very important. But also, MEC, thank you for sharing with us all the interventions from the department since we started 2 years ago to say these are the programs that we've put in place, and it's up to all of us to respond to those programs and support them. Having said that, I want to take this opportunity to invite Ms. Shannon George just to share with us their views on how parents, what role can parents play in really encouraging all issues related to safety in our schools. Ms. Shannon, I'm going to give you 5 minutes, 7 minutes? 7 minutes. When I stand up, you must know it's minutes. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. It's Chanel George. Good morning, everybody. My name is Chanel George. I am one of the coordinators of the school safety crisis intervention that we started in October. So that obviously followed the incidents that happened at Willow Crescent, the shooting incident at Willow Crescent and the stabbing incident at Silver Oaks. So as a community, we came together, some stakeholders, because obviously these are our kids, this is our school, this is our home. So we can't wait for the department to secure our schools. We need to create an environment that is conducive for learning and teaching. So we came together, we called for volunteers. So we had a few private security companies local that are based in Aldos that raised their hands and they said, okay, here we are, we'll assist you. I'm not sure if any of them are here. Okay, I see some hands there. So what we did is we then formed a task team, so to say. So we briefed in the morning. So it was initially we were about 8 private security companies that got together, along with stakeholders, parents, concerned community. We brief in the morning just before 7, and then we split up and we go to the various schools and secure the perimeters of the school, because obviously we were not mandated to be inside the school. So we just then ensure that the perimeter of the school is secured. At the time, August and September, we got great support from Department of Education. We had JMPD support us as well. They sent wardens. So on an average day, we had about 80 wardens that were with us. We also had SAPS anti-gang stationed at the problem schools. So we identified there's about 5 high-risk schools, hotspot schools in Aldos, and the anti-gang vans were then stationed at those particular schools. So the teams would go in the morning with the wardens and secure the school, as I said, the perimeter, and then we would debrief, and they would go back at the time when the schools dismiss. So it's been effective in August, September. It was effective because even you mentioned the late coming, and that was a concerning thing for us as parents to see the discipline, the ill discipline of children and late coming. So obviously that improved drastically. The activity around the schools improved drastically. People passing things through the fence to the children in school, the vendors around the school. So it was very effective, but as you mentioned, it's not sustainable, because these security companies that are working with us are registered private security companies, and while their services to us were free of charge, they still paid their staff. So we had a meeting with Mr. Lexi 2 weeks ago, quite a productive meeting, but I have since been unable to secure a follow-up meeting. So if we could facilitate that, please, sir. I'm not sure where he is. And then, so some of the challenges. So when the school came back, the school's holidays were September, end of September. And then when the schools came back, we had no more AGU. We had no more wardens. So obviously the activities then increased because we don't have the numbers. Our teams don't have the numbers to accommodate all the schools. So the wardens were deployed elsewhere, and then AGU vans were no longer there. So that's obviously a concern. Then I'm going to echo what Bishop mentioned about the metal detectors. The body scanners it takes away from teaching time, because can you imagine 1,000 learners going to school that need to be searched? Each school was issued with 2 scanners, if I'm not correct. So it takes a long time to scan those children at the gate with the body scanners. So the metal detectors are much more effective. And yes, to your comment, we don't want military camps. But the unfortunate reality of the schools in El Dorado Park and Klipspruit is that guns and weapons are common. You will not believe the stuff that we have confiscated from kids in school bags. So the metal detectors are definitely necessary. Then HOD also mentioned the psychosocial support, which I think is also very important, and which I think we need to place more emphasis on, because it's trauma for our children, for our educators, for our community. It's trauma. We have chaos in Aldos. There's a message that comes on a WhatsApp group now. There's a shooting at our domain. It's chaos at the school. No, I'm saying if in general. So the learners are traumatized, the teachers are traumatized, the community is traumatized, because now you have everybody rushing to the school to fetch their kids. The principal is saying the situation is under control, so it's chaos. But for the schools where there were incidents, we do need that psychosocial support for those educators and the learners. Then in terms of, you mentioned we don't need to spend money. We do, sir. Because our school perimeters are easy access. All our school perimeters, the fences are broken, the walls are broken, the palisades are missing, so it's easy access for criminals and anybody to enter the school. So we do need to spend on that to secure the schools in that way. Then also in terms of vendor management, and I'm going to mention the school because this is a very, very big concern. We've seen recently, in recent weeks, the school, the poisoning, the children that have been poisoned. And McBain Charles, I'm mentioning the school because it's a big problem. McBain Charles, primary school, McBain Charles. The vendor management, and it is a safety issue because our children can die from the goods that they consume from those vendors. There's no, I don't know what the policy is, what the school policy is, or GDE policy is on vendors in schools and around schools, but that's something that seriously needs to be re-looked at. Then we also have some NGOs that partnered with us. I don't see, oh, there he is. Glisten is from, just raise your hand. Glisten is from Metro World Child. We've also got Gangs to Grace. I don't know if Pastor Kester is here. We've got the Scouts. So these, besides the, obviously when we go into a school and there's an issue, an issue of violence with a particular learner or learners, we delve further into it, like, what is the problem? Why do you feel the need to do this? Why do you? So we do further intervention besides just the safety. And the people that I've mentioned now, Metro World Child and Gangs to Grace and the Boy Scouts, they do the various programs in the school. So obviously bullying is one of the things that Metro World Child focuses on. But we definitely need further support on that because bullying seems to be something that's raising its head again in a lot of the schools. We see it in a lot of the schools. So we need further intervention and tangible programs, not just the one day, don't hit your friend type of thing. We need tangible, and if you can partner with these NGOs that are already doing it, it would be great because they understand the dynamics of the school, they understand the dynamics of the area and the issues and the challenges that we face. Then lastly, a big problem that we also experience in a lot of the schools, in most of the schools, is the selling of drugs in the school. I'm not sure if you're aware, but a lot of the schools have, and that's also where the fighting comes, the gang fights come, because it's a territorial thing. So they sell drugs in the school, on the school premises, so that is something that really needs to be looked at. But other than that, yes, as I said, Brendan Smith has been with us since day one, so we've received support from GDE, but there's a lot more that can be done, and there's a lot more support to make it sustainable. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that input. It shows that if the community takes opportunities just to make sure that they prioritize safety, something can come up. And I'm happy that we have started working with the department. So what we'll be doing, we'll see how far can we take some of these ideas so that it's well controlled, so that nobody can just come up with an idea, then our kids are also at risk. But thank you so much for the initiatives. I think the team will continue working with you, and maybe other areas will also learn from what you are doing. But thank you so much, and keep up the good job. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's your opportunity now to allow inputs from the floor. And you will see from the program, if you have one, or from what I said earlier on, this is not a question and answer session. This is a session for you to make inputs. Inputs that are going to assist everybody to come up with a plan that will sustain us in dealing with these issues. So I'm going to note only 5 hands this side, 5 this side, 5 that side. And let us be orderly. When I point you, you'll come forward. And I'm only giving you 2 minutes. So don't abuse the platform. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to, because I had not made the announcement to say 5. All those 7 hands. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The learner at the back is number 7. Please come forward. If you are more than 7, I'm going to chase one away. I'll count at 7. Please introduce yourself, the name of the organization or school that you represent or whatever that you represent, then from there. 2, 4, 6. You see now it's, no. You must decide. I want to accommodate the learner. You must decide who will give the learner the chance. Okay. Please, 2 minutes per person. Do they have a mark here?
Thank you very much, residents of the greater El Dorado Park area. Thank you, MEC, Mutame, Chilwane, and your team. My name is Miles Budu. I am a semi-migrant worker. I'm originally 85 kilometers from here when you move on the west side. It's called the countryside on the lakeside where I was born. I'm currently here for almost 45 years in El Dorado Park, and I've been very active but undercover. The reason why we have decided to form the El Dorado Park Steering Committee, it's because I got up one morning and I found out that trucks were moving into Kliptown Primary School with material that built the state-of-the-art mobile classes. There were no community involvement. There were nothing. It's just people that came, and within no time they left the area. That is when we decided that we're going to do something about it. But I am about to hold that gangs, bullies, drug, alcohol, substance abuse, crime, violence, teenage pregnancy, and school dropout has got nothing to do with material resources, human resources, financial resources, managerial resources, and infrastructural resources. We're about to be told that, and we won't believe it. 1. Number 2, MEC, we have information that your department sent back $500 million back to the treasury where Rome is burning, and this money should have been used to deal not only with the causes of what is happening in our schools, but deal with the criminals, the gangsters, the bullies, the drug lords, whoever. And that money is gathering dust where it is now. And I want to, in conclusion, submit a document which is a generic and a narrative funding proposal that has been doing its rounds for the past 6 years. Anti-gangsterism, anti-bullyingism, anti-drug, alcohol, substance abuse, anti-teenage pregnancy, and anti-dropout. And your organization must create desks within your head office to deal with school governing bodies, school transport, parents, learners, and unions. In your office, there must be a desk that must deal with it, and the money must be fetched where it was taken back to. Thank you.
Thank you so much. 2 minutes.
Okay. Thank you very much, Program Director, and thank you very much, MEC, for organizing this event. My name is Lucy Mufubetswana. I'm the member and executive member of the National Governors Association known as NAGA. But I'm standing here as the previous member of the SGP. Served for 2 terms, and also, by the way, MEC, I have not received my certificate because I've served for 2 terms. And also, a person who has served as a chairperson for 2 terms concurrently at the CPF Naledi police stations. MEC, we are here talking about the school safety issues. School safety issue is a big issue. It's affecting all of us. We are stakeholders, we are community members, we are members from organization, teachers, learners. It's something that is affecting us. But I want to come basically directly to the issue of learner discipline, because learner discipline is a big challenge. And learner discipline, according to my experience when visiting the families and visiting the parents when there was a challenge with the learner from our previous schools where I was serving as a governor, it was clear to say some learners, MEC, please note this, they have mental issues. They have mental issues based on the treatment or the abuse from their parents. Some learners currently as we speak, as young parents, we are dying very young. And we have learners who are household-headed members, learners who are currently serving as parents, but they are learners. Those learners, no one is taking care of them. Those kids, they have anger. They have anger issues. I have a learner that I've been trying to visit the family, especially those who are involved in drugs. And you'll find that those learners are abused by their parents, or those learners, others are in HIV, taking ARVs. And the learner will only discover at the secondary level. No one is taking care of that child, because now that child can discover, Uguchi, I'm on medication now. And being on medication, what was the cause? Maybe it was during birth or what? Families not coming on board. Teachers are not looking at those things. They ended up seeing this child as a person who's very unruly when it comes to school activities or when it comes to respect. I also want to come to criminal elements that are taking place at our schools. There's criminal elements are not only taking place based on patrollers only or learners, also our principals are also involved. No one is speaking on issue of principals being involved when it comes to the criminal activities that are happening at our school. I was serving at one of the schools whereby police, I'm still upset with the police. I'm still upset whereby the principal forged a signature. Forge a signature of a chairperson. We open a case as the SGP members. That case went further to Pretoria for forensic. The report came back positive. Today the principal is still serving. The case has not yet been attended to. It's 2 years now. No one is saying anything. I will come to the issue of adopt a cop and adopt a school. Yes, it's true, MEC. Parents and police are working. Have schools that have been adopted because it's part of the POA of the police station, and it's part of the police to also, when they submit their report, to involve all those activities that they are doing, and they are working with the schools. We normally get false report. They are not even visiting the patrollers. Patrollers are facing many challenges. Patrollers also facing those challenges in terms of their life being in danger, day and night. They are not visited. We kindly request that police be visible, visit patrollers at night. And also, we kindly request that police and CPF officers who are here, our patrollers are always involved in terms of stealing the food nutrition in our schools. We kindly request that you also look at that, because it's affecting us as parents, as learners. Sometimes when the school reopen, it will take time for the food to be delivered at our schools. And you'll find that during the school, even teachers, MEC, are sharing the milk, are sharing the food of the school. Teachers are no longer buying the milk for themselves. They are taking our school milk and use it for their daily use. You can calculate the box of milk that is used by 70 classes or 50 classes daily in a week and in a month. So So we want you to look at that because those are the serious issues that are affecting us. As one of the association member, we have one, sorry Baba Nyavan. As one of the association member, we have a school whereby we have noted that even our teachers, they don't understand SASA or policies, they don't want to read. And they ended up fighting with the members of the SGB. Because members of the SGB, you are always giving us training and giving us workshops to understand the policies and the SASA. But when it comes to your officials, even principal, they don't want to read, they don't want to understand the policies. The issue here, why I'm raising this issue, you will find that the parents will discover that patrollers are stealing milk or are stealing food or tin fish. When you go there and go and address that issue, the teacher is the one giving the food handlers the food and the milk. Please look at those issues. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I reiterate what I said? There are teams here who are moving around. Lloyd will assist us with a paper or something so that if there are more issues, now you can note them down, submit them at the table. There are colleagues with great t-shirts, golf shirts, they will be able to assist us if you don't get an opportunity to raise everything that you want to raise. So I'm going to be very strict in terms of time. 2 minutes, as I've indicated. Over to you, sir.
Dumelang Sanbonana, good morning. My name is Regeleng Victor Maimele. I'm a member of the SGB. Thank you for this opportunity, MEC, HOD, and all protocol observed. But I want to remind you, MEC, you see, this type of Imbizo, you once promised, it was on the 18th of May, 2023, to say we need quarterly meetings. And that didn't happen up to date. HOD, Mr. Rufus Mutlan, please consider Kalfontein Secondary School. There's a burning issue there, and there's burning matter there. May you please take us serious. And I want to ask everyone, take the school governing body serious. Take the school governing body serious. We are where we are now because you are neglecting us. You don't take care of us. You're undermining us. I was listening to the HOD when he was talking there. He never mentioned anything to do with the SGB. He just mentioned all this, the principal, the children, and everybody else. But he omit only the SGB. The only person who spoke about the SGB was the MEC. I was listening. So we are all asking, particularly where I'm coming from. I'm from Midrand, particularly in Ivory Park area. We've got almost 24 schools, if it's not 30. The school governing body there, they are absolutely 0% dysfunctional. And Mr. Makwakwa here is the chief director. He knows about that. He promised us and he never come back. We had a meeting with them. So we are asking the stakeholder meeting, particularly with the SGB and the association, please take care of that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to the leadership front, MEC Matume Shiloane, all the esteemed members who are here present with us today, the larger community, I greet you all. My name is Tsepiso Mulifi. I am a SGB member from Willow Crescent Secondary School, probably listed as one of the schools at risk. MEC and everyone else who have spoken before me, maybe we should assist each other with zooming into where the problem really lies. I want to echo something that was said by the female speaker before me when she said that most of these problems are probably mental. There is a silent monster that nobody wants to talk about. The whole world, nobody wants to talk about that. It is a condition called dyslexia. And yes, I'm also dyslexic. It is a genetic condition, hereditary. You get it from parent to child. So when you address issues that affect learners, you should know that most of the time you are going to point to parents
because parents most likely suffered from the very same condition or a similar condition. Now, issues of discipline in schools. If you were to zoom in and speak to those who are in charge, who are the disciplinary committees of the school, the SPSTs, you will find that majority of these learners that are problematic in schools cannot read and write. You are missing the whole point by pointing to infrastructure, money, this, that. No. These are learners that grow disinterested in education because they do not have the ability to read and write. And unfortunately, it is a natural condition. Teachers are agreeing. I know mostly are teachers who are clapping hands. It is a natural condition that needs us to afford accommodation and proper accommodation to these kids. I asked at one of the meetings that was held in Pimville to say, what type of support are you offering learners that cannot read and write? Because they will be disinterested, they will find activity outside of academics. They will create their own activity. They want to feel as part of the school. They want to feel as belonging. So how do I belong when everybody else is facing the board and they understand what is on the board and I don't understand? So I must find activity. I must join a gang. I must become a bully. If you go and look into dyslexia, majority of these kids end up becoming bullies. They end up falling into, most of them are found in prison. But that does not mean there is no hope for them. There is hope. Because at the end of the day, you look at the majority of billionaires that we have in the country and in the world, they are dyslexic. One other thing, yes, just before you cut me off, sir. One other thing, MEC, we do have extracurricular activities at Willow Crescent, and we're doing so well. I had to buy a violin the other day for my child. I don't know how it's used. Another thing, when it comes to infrastructure, who must implement, MEC? Are you not the one who's supposed to implement? Because you stood here and told us about us. I thought you were going to tell us a bit about yourselves to say this is where we lack as the department. We can't be waiting for chairs at the school since 2016. To this day, there are still no chairs at that school and you are not showing up. And another thing, you promised us a boundary wall. A lady spoke here on the podium to say most of these schools are easy access. We're still waiting for a boundary wall at Willow Crescent. Please, MEC, when you point fingers at us, you must know that the implementation part and the enforcement part, we elected you there to come and enforce where we can't. So thank you.
Thank you very much, and all protocol observed. Thank you, MEC, for this Imbizo. I'm Sbongile Masego from Greater Gauteng Learner Transport Organization. I'm a bit disappointed because the program director, when he introduced everybody else, he never said scholar transport. And I know very well if there's an accident anywhere where the MEC is supposed to come, scholar transport is part of it. Because I remember there was an accident here in Impala Road where a child died and 10 kids were injured in that accident, and the MEC promised to come and engage with us as an organization, which has never happened. Now, I don't want to go back, I don't want to take much of your time, but this is an Imbizo. And I remember I heard after an Imbizo that there was an Imbizo at Bechut in 2022. It was safety. And in 2023, again, there was another Imbizo, Khutlamulao or something like that, Khutlisamulao or something like that, by the MEC. And we were not part of that Imbizo as education transport. And yet, when there are challenges right outside there, we are the first one to be hit hard. Now, today we're in another Imbizo. I'm asking MEC that from this Imbizo, can there be results? Because we can't be attending Imbizos and nothing happens. More especially here in this, I don't stay in this area, but more especially in this area, we have been coming to this area for so much time with the same problem of drugs in this area. And now, there was a campaign that we signed a pledge on that campaign on quality learning and safety campaign in schools. And nothing happens after us signing that pledge. So that is what we are asking as an organization. Oguti, let us be part of this. Now there are some few things that I've written, like let us have partnership and collaboration. Let us establish joint committees of education, transport, and transport department. Let us open communication channels, more especially in schools. Let there be databases in schools. Schools should know, principals should know, SMTs should know who is transporting these kids to this school. And those transporters have all necessary documents that are needed to transport kids to the school. Because safety of these kids, our concern too. Thank you very much.
Sanbonani, hello everyone. My name is Tebisile Butelezi. I'm greeting everybody and all protocol observers. Ngiyabonga MEC ukuthi ube khona la namhlanje. MEC mina ngizoba short kakhulu into engiyifunayo nje kuphela ukuthi sicela usakhele isikolo. eKanana Park eThulamntwana, we need the school and District 11, and then abantwana mangabe kuyanetha ukudla kwabo kungenelwa amanzi, mangabe kune dust ukudla kwabo kungenelwa idust. So besicela ukuthi usisize please as soon as possible mangakhonakala.
Kanana is Johannesburg South, MEC.
Good day, everyone. Sizo Masego, SGP member and part of and deputy chair, Eldorado Extension and Steering Committee. MEC, siyabonga to khona la. Us as parents and as a community, take the blame when it comes to our side. Hence the gentleman that was something that's very important. You've brought also in order for the schools to be safe and our kids to be safe. But there's no solution. There's crime. The problem is there's crime today because you even altered, Uguchi, you've brought private securities. That at the end of the day, they are not being, and when they are not paid on time, the very same securities, they break in the schools because of the grievances that they have. Secondly, we've got a problem, us as a community. We need to fight these securities when they are fighting with our local securities. And those securities answers will be like, we paid for the tender, we got the tender, but we are on a PO. And now working on a PO, it's a month-to-month. Let's say it happens, Uguti, they only work for 2 months, and then on the next month there's another security. We as the community, we must resolve another fight again within the community. And we are stuck between that. So please see to it, Uguti, you are sorted out that. And then again, MEC, it's disappointing, Uguti, the Model C schools, they are playing sports on weekends. But our kids, they are studying on weekends. What are you saying about your educational system? So, as we are currently here, meaning Guti, we must fight for our kids to go to Model Cs, not you bettering your educational system for our kids to be on a parallel level. We are not saying, Uguti, we can't afford, but with you, you can help us. We were signing a bill. We thought, Uguti, every learner will be equal. But the way you spoke about it, Uguti, they are playing sports. We can go to schools, all the schools here in Eldorado Park. You'll find, Uguti, there's not even one school that's got a swimming pool. What must we do about that? What are we saying about our kids? They must just chill in when they're in varsity. Please, let's change our system. And this thing, 30% MEC, please see onto it. We as Eldorado Park Steering Committee, we took kids last month to Vets University, those who are doing grade 11 and 12. For an expo, so that they can see how's life outside school. It was disappointing when we went there. The entry level, they want our 70%. And our kids, they've got 30-40%. Where are we taking them after school? So, if we can push our kids, the pass rate must be 70 to 100%, like we did. They will be somewhere in life. They will be on a map. And again, let me see, with this one, we are pleading. We are with you. Please to it, that us do their job. Because there's this system, Uguti, I just came to work. These are not my kids. Why today we find our kids being vulnerable at school. And that's why we find violence in our. I thank you all.
Good day, MEC. Good day to each and everyone that took their time out to be here. Before I speak, MEC, I just would like to say that I'm of an understanding that Imbizos for the community to participate in discussions with the government. So I hate this thing that we are limited to 2 minutes. It's not a good thing, because there's so many things we want to do and want to say with regards to schools and safety security. So can we just look into it, not to limit people to 2 minutes, because it's disrespectful. We also offered our time up to be here. Thank you. So, but I'm going to respect the 2-minute rule because I do not want to tramp on anyone's feet. We will have another engagement because there's so many solutions to this thing that has been spoken here. We have solutions to the problems, hence we are here, the security issues. But I'm of the understanding that school and safety security does not only apply to the infrastructure. So when we say school, who are we referring to? We refer to the students and the learners in that school. So I'm glad that you are fulfilling both portfolios as sports, arts and culture and development. We're glad that you are in both portfolios, because why? The primary focus right here is that students from these schools are participating in gangster activities because there's nothing else for them to do. So we have programs set in place for these kids. If you can look at the areas that we are from, excuse me, I didn't introduce myself. I'm Arthur Wilson from the Project Steering Committee of Extension 1. So we from Extension 1, which is the epicenter of crime, drugs, and violence. So within El Rado Park, the students from El Rado Park go to 5 different schools, and they participate actively in gangsterism, and they take this gangsterism to school, which increases the safety and security in schools. Because these kids do not have any other thing for them to participate in. There's no active sports, there's no active arts, there's no active culture, there's nothing for them to do. And these are catalysts, if you look at research, in stopping these things from happening in a school. So that's the first thing I want to touch on. But like I said, because I want to respect the 2-minute rule, we have a list of solutions. We will engage after this if you have a moment or two, so we can give it to you. But in terms of the 2 minutes, we just want to respect it. Another thing is, I want to touch based on what the deputy have said from the Project Steering Committee, is that in El Rado Park specifically, especially with the schools that has been serviced right now, they are in-house security. But those in-house security is not from the community. Whilst we have security personnel who have the capacity to do those things, who are being overlooked. And these are the people that go to these type of schools to prevent schools from being under attack by these people. These are the same security people that work together with the community to create safe zones, Mr. MEC. We have safe zones now in El Rado Park, which alleviate the problem of crime and violence in the school, because these safe zones is created by these same people. But now then we have a problem, because now when they need to be considered for these posts, they get overlooked, and they're being told that no, we have a database where people from the other security companies can do these things, which cause conflict. Another thing why I want you to look into that is because if you consider these people are also from the community. So example I want to make to stick into the 2 minutes is that if a student from El Rado Park Extension 1 is participating in gang and violence, and a security company from El Rado Park has an employee that is a security at that school, work there, that student who's participating in that crime and violence will not go participate because he sees someone that he's familiar with at that school. So, like I said, I want to stick to the 2-minute rule, but after this, we have a list of solutions that you can look into. Thank you.
Thank you.
Greetings to everyone and greetings to Master MC. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. My name is Angelique Williams, and I am the RCL president of KWSS Klipspruit West Secondary School. All protocols observed, sir. I have 2 questions to ask and 1 concern. Firstly, I'd like to say that I've acknowledged all intervention programs before me. But I'd like to ask, why is Klipspruit Secondary School the only school in El Dorado Park and Klipspruit West area where there are no crime prevention wardens assigned at our school? We have securities that are not armed during the day and at night, because at night is where all the gangsters start invading and vandalizing our schools. And so under all these circumstances, us as learners of the school are not safe at all. After all, we are the prodigal son of Klipspruit West. In 2018, the President of the Republic of SA came himself and his office to our school to adopt it and promised to help us in any possible way, challenge-wise. To date, the President of the Republic of SA failed in his promise to adopt our school in helping challenge-wise. Mr. MC, what are you going to do to ensure that our President keeps his promise he made to our school? And last thing, according to our chairperson of the SGB that is present today, Mr. Hudson, your office has appointed an electrician in June already to fix our electricity challenge and problem at our school. And again to date, we're heading to end of the year and nothing. So, Mr. MC, us as learners are suffering terribly, sir. So we are please demanding and asking you very nicely to please help us out, because there's a lot of terrible things happening in our schools, sir, and we are not happy with it at all, especially as learners, because we are not focusing at all, sir. It's hard for us to focus under such circumstances. So please, sir, please can you help us? Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Imesh. I'm a SGB member serving at the school of John Matera School out in El Dorado Park, Extension 7. Well, what do you say to everything that you heard and what you're witnessing today? Way back in the days, we knew if you even 5 minutes late, you are taken in, your parents are called. You are disciplined for that. Our system has changed. Our justice system is failing us. Hence, almost every weekend there are funerals, and it's our children that is going. What is happening? The question that should be asked, what is going to be done to groom the future leaders of this country for the next generation to follow? Brings me to a concern. Many schools, children are loitering outside, allowed to go and buy by the vendors. Why? Because the schools are deserted. Teachers are not where they're supposed to be. Who is going to take accountability? Should a car bump a child goes and buys by the vendor? We're not there to watch them 24/7. They are our kids when they come from school. But the minute they depart the house in the morning to go to school, the teachers are their parents. So what is actually been done about that, sir? Children are left unattended from, say, 9 in the morning until 3. I give you a perfect example. At DMS, Don Matera School, yes, we have security, but our kids are not left unattended to wait outside the school premises for transportation to pick them up. I am the SGB for the transport at this particular school. I go with my colleague, I do my first pickup in the morning, we do our second pickup in the morning, and I'm there. I climb out to ensure the safety of these kids. After both trips are done in the afternoon, I go back school to wait, even if it means I have to wait till 4, 5 o'clock for that child's transport to be picked up. We also ensure that there is a contact number for these kids. But no, other schools, the children are left unattended. Nobody to assist them. I mean, come on. We say in South Africa, a greater nation, together we can do more. But I'm sorry to say this, sir. That's a total lie. South Africa is fighting everything on their own. No assistance. We appealing to you as a ruler. Let's get up from our chairs and fight this thing together. You want to win the trust of the community. Take the first step to prove it, and then you'll get your community back together. Thank you.
Thank you so much. As I've indicated, the 2 minutes rule is going to stick. We have got colleagues in grey golf shirts. They will give you a piece of paper. You'll write any other ideas or any other question there. Then the team will be able to consolidate all those things and come up with a framework to say this is how we're going to deal with those issues. So this section, if there's something that was not said by all the speakers that are here, I'm only giving you that opportunity. So I'm noting you one can come. You must not repeat what they said. Vendors, we had those things. Ne? Infrastructure we had. So it must be something totally new. So it's 5 as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, 6. So if you are saying 6, it's going to 1.5. Where's the number 5? Okay. 2 minutes starts now.
Preventine Webster, SGB chairperson at El Dorado Park Secondary School. Okay, this is in pertaining with the school safety of children. The first thing that I just want to say is, when you look at the palisades outside, the only good thing that they are, the only things they are good for is for children and gangsters jump on our fences, and it's going to the scrapyards. We are talking about school safety, put in the clear view, because we've seen the clear view works, and all the schools so far that I've seen in Eldos still have those palisades. Number 2 that I want to add is, please, can our schools be equipped with metal detectors? Because our children come in with weapons and we can't search them. We have no right to that, according to the Child Protection Act. That I know. Then number 3 is, okay, this is now something that's going to take, it's also on infrastructure. We have 5 different or 6 different asbestos schools. Health, please, our children. That is all I can say, short and sweet. It is done.
Thank you. Sanibonani basani. Ntate Matumi. Na ke batla bua something different. Rona re di beneficiaries tsa operation khutla molao. E re sebeleditse haholo re ya leboha. Hona le consistency hona jwale sekolong. Se re phela hantle. Empa ntwe ne re tla ikopa fela gore the same services o di extended to the buses. Now the gangsters tsena jwale se di kena di buseng ba nkela bana di phone ba ba gwaza ba nkela tšhelete ke ntho e etsahalang ka mehla di fight tse a di sa le yo ka hara school se di le strateng also mohlomong ka re thusa fela gore buela le spolesa se re faila haholo every morning bana ha batla sekolong ba attack-iwa on their way to school ene bana se ba tshaba o tla sekolong hona jwale ne re ka kopa fela nje hore ha o ka re thusa fela ka taba ya di bus school transport or extend mohlomong ka kenya security services mo di busing hore ba thuse o monitor situation ya di gangsters tse ke lebo.
We must applaud this group, ne? Yeah, this group, yeah.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, comrades, MEC. We are so honored to have you in our area, El Dorado Park, we say to you, aware. And then, Comrade MEC, we are graced. We are graced in the school that we are, the primary school, with a condition that's so good and so perfect. And we applaud the principal also. And then, Comrade, we also, I would say also thank you to big ups to my principal. I'm serving at Wallow Crescent, SGB there. I'd also like to give big ups to my principal where I'm serving in the event on the first occurrence of the violence. When I came from work to the school to come and assist my principal, she was so strong and she was so motivated. She looked after her pupils. And then, Comrade MEC, guess what? None of her, she was not being counseled. As you were talking about counseling also. None of the teachers was counseled, even the children also. Parents came to us fighting and asked, what happened? My child was not in a good space. Yeah, thank you. That is coming for the counseling. Then, Comrade MEC also said to us that, like, if it's 8 o'clock, we should close the school gates. We close the school gates, and then what is going to happen to the child? If we send the child home, the child get injured. Who's going to give answer? The principal? But the child is transgressing. There's no change. We've tried all measures. We've tried to put all measures in place. And then our MC was so pointing fingers to say that the policing system, what are we doing? Each and every department. But we ask, my fellow comrades, SGB, here's the people. We are having cases. We are having transgressors in the school that say to us, leave me alone. Those kids are swearing at us, and we must conduct that hearing. The turnaround time for a child to be suspended, Comrade MEC, what is the turnaround time? We try to discipline. We try to correct the behavior there in the DC. And then what do the parents do? The parents run to the GDE. And then what does the GDE do? Say, take this child back no matter what. And we were trained and we were taught that don't do hearings on emotions. Don't do a hearing on emotions. And then we will look over that part that the child did wrong. That very same child 2 weeks after that come and swear or beat a teacher. Then what do? Parents run to GDE. GDE said take their child back. So we want to know as SGB, how far and what else can we do? We are willing for training. We were not offered training at Wallow Crescent. We've got the best principal and she makes sure that we attend whatever there is. I thank you.
Thank you, Program Director, MEC. This is Pastor Gracewell Msimango from MUSA. MUSA is a Ministers' Organization of Schools in South Africa. Our work as an organization is to bring divine intervention to our learners, to our educators, so that our schools can become better environment for teaching and learning. So there's something that we don't talk about when we talk. Like now, I never hear the MC recognizing the religious sector. I don't know whether we ignore the spiritual part of human beings, that some of the challenges that we have in our society might be spiritual challenges. As I'm working with schools, as we are working with schools, we pick up some of the problems and the challenges that are there in schools. Maybe you don't know, MEC, there are cult formations in school. I hear you talk about gangsterism. There are also cult formations in schools that we deal with, whereby other learners are into cultic, religions and so forth, and they come to school bringing some imuti, which affect other learners, which make other learners not to be safe in the school environment. So these are some of the challenges that we must look at, Uguti, as as religious ministers, please open the door for who come to schools and intervene so that we can have better schools. Don't close us out of your schools. Please, we want to be involved. We are involved with many schools. We go to as many schools as we can as ministers so that we help schools. And let me tell you something. The educators and the principal, they want our services. They call for our services. And I'm saying we are here as pastors. We want to help as well so that we have our schools safe as much as possible. And another thing I want to bring to our attention, maybe we can come up with solutions. Other challenges that we pick up is the high rate of learners who are coming to school already having smoked something. Educators are having a challenge with that. So we need to look at that as well. How are we going to make sure that there is no learner who is coming to school having smoked dacha or something? Because they are a danger to everybody in that school environment. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Bob. I like to greet MEC director and everyone else okhona la ngaphakathi. I'm from Greater Johannesburg Learner Transport Organization, and I think many people do not know anything about it, but if I can say I'm from UPET, I think people here will understand. UPET it's an organization yabantwana besikolo that is taking children from around Soweto to bring them to El Dorado Park, Kliptown, Klipspruit West, Freedom Park, and Devlin. We've got a cluster that we have made to try to see silungise iskola transport. Now, into bengizoyicela that I request from MEC and his team is that we need to work together. That's number one. They are from the Department of Education. We are from the Department of Transport. We work with Department of Transport, let me put it that way. But we need to work together because other children are being ferried by Department of Education, others are being ferried by us, the private learner transporters. So we want to, as an organized formation, we need to go to sisebenzisane no MEC we education, no MEC we transport. That is what we request because there are many challenges that we have. I heard people talking about children's safety from school or at school. The safety of these children need to start from the gate where I pick up these children as a scholar transporter. Ngimletha esikolweni the 2 hours because we work from 6 to 8, from 2 to 4 o'clock to teach these children. We want your help also on that one, that we need to work together. Like it's written there that we must grow Gauteng together. We need to do it. We need to practice it. Now, into ekhona ke la is that we have a cluster that we have formed, yama associations I5 that are working here. And we also welcome the new baby, ELTA, El Dorado Park Learner Transport Association, that have just joined us in few years, because we've been here for over 15, 20 years now. The other thing is that I want to thank also the law enforcement, because those are the people that are always having the blame. Those are the people that we work with. The law enforcement agencies, the community safety, SAPS, JMPD, and all those people, including the ones that we call amapanya-panya. They also help us. When we go to our cars and find hookah pipes, I think they call hookah pipes. We take them, the liquor on Fridays and everything. They are also there to help us. I also want those people to be more engaged and work with us. And then lastly, there are teachers that are transporting scholar transport, that are in our scholar transport work. They transport children. Please, guys, when there's a problem with those children, don't come to us, because we always tell you, we went to the principals and we told the principals that you need not to do that. So please don't do it, and please try and make sure that you also tell other fellow teachers that they do not have to transport. We are there. If there's a problem, those are the problems for us, not for you. And then the last one before, no. The last one, Baba, the last one. Please, there are people that are taking school children that do not belong to associations. That is very important. Please, we need help on that one. We also need help on that one, because those people, the ones that are doing the wrong things in the cars with your children during school hours, they do not belong to us. We are there, we are at 58 Bacon Road in Cliptown. Please come to us and report these things so that we can take care of them. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Baba.
Greetings to the House at large. I want to thank you for this opportunity that you have given all of us to come upon you and come with the problems that we are facing within our school premises and within outside the school. I am Olwetu Prenen Chifumbu, and I am from Mukhome Secondary School. And I wanted to start off by saying this meeting, to begin with, was for us to come up front with our problems, but as well with our solutions. So why is it a lot of people are coming with their problems without also bringing their solutions and leaving it only to them to deal with it? I'd also want to look at the fact on how Mr. Rufus Muhlana, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, you stated that when you heard of this problem, you thought of shifting it to January or later on. I don't want to judge or criticize this decision, but I don't think that is an appropriate way to introduce yourself to us. That just shows us that when a problem comes to the door or a problem comes to face your direction, you'd rather shift it aside instead of you sitting down and dealing with the problem directly. So I just came here not to point fingers, not to point the blame or shift it aside. I just want to ask, can you please help us in our communities? There's a lot we're going through as learners, and I'm speaking from personal experiences. These people actually do come within the school premises. These people wait for us after school. They threaten us, and mentally we will not be able to function. We will not give you the results that you want at the end of the year. Thank you.
Thank you so much. This side I'm only taking 3. All right, 5, 1 minute. Okay, no. You see, I want to remember we said there are teams there that are working with us. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, see, now it's 10. No, it can't be 10. Let's organize ourselves. 5, 1 minute. If it's 10 people, it's 1 minute. That's a problem. 5 people, 2 minutes. Right. 1, 2, 3. No, 4, Elena. I want somebody at the back there. Think that 2 Mamala. 5. No, let me see how it goes. Let me see how it goes. We might save time. Yeah. We might save time. Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, MEC, Bishop Adams. Thank you. You said it very well. I actually wanted to say it in the same speed, the same aggression, but I'm afraid the mic is going to leave me also, so I'll rather stick to it. MEC, thank you for availing yourself, Mr. Rufus, and to the SGBs, Mr. Kelly and them all, thank you for availing yourself. MEC, the issue that we're having is that we always request something from the department, but we don't get feedback. Our emails don't get answered. I am Laik Wex. I'm serving as the chairperson of Kliptown Senior Secondary School. I'm also the chairperson of the Eldorado Park Forum. I'm sure you wondered who these people are, but that's us. We are here. And I'm serving for 15 years this year as an SGB member. I have a lot of kids, don't worry. But anyhow, so in short, the issue that we're having is, I would like to know, who is the custodians of the Department of Education? Because whenever the SGBs and wherever the schools, whenever there is need, the department seems to drag their feet. But the moment SATU says, we're closing up tomorrow, whether the school at 12, they close. No one answers, no one questions it. That is jeopardizing our learners. Is SATU now the owners of the Department of Education? It happened in this week that passed. 12:30, they had a mass meeting. It was last week, sorry. 12:30, they had a mass meeting. School had to adjourn at 12:30. That is compromising our learners, our children, to form part of this gangsterism that's taking place. Then I also request that you relook at the safety policy. Yes, children have rights. But the moment they set their foot on that school premises, their rights must be revoked. Because, keep one thing in mind, the teacher is also a parent. The teacher is also a child of another parent. And the safety of them is of utmost concern. We have learners declaring their allegiance to these gangs openly on social media. And we at Kliptown said, the moment we find one of our learners declaring their allegiance, we expel him no matter what the departments say. They are jeopardizing the lives of 1,400 learners that's in that school. And that is the stance we're currently taking. We are no more keeping back. And we threaten that we're going to close the schools for the exams and that. We also have feelings. That's our children writing there. But keep one thing in mind. It's on the back burner. If the MEC's office, if the GDE doesn't respond to what we're requesting, then we're going to bring it out in public. Because I think that's the only way, and that's the only force where the MEC and GDE basically respond and start saying, we need to give them an ear. We need to lend them an ear and hear what they're saying. So, in sweet and short, the adapter cop, please discuss it with SEPs, because there's quite a number of challenges in the communities with SEPs. That should remain between the Department of Education and SEPs. And the Tsipong issue, we're also trying that. Just a good example, I also served at the school. And it is good to see that the school is in such a function way. But the problem that we have is they're feeding over to Klipspruit, where gangsterism is at its highest point. You heard from the learner, they need assistance. Please, we see, stretch your hands and hug them. We are all your children. Your child is my child, and my child is your child. Let's implement that policy. I thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, MEC. Firstly, Program Director Shakir Baker is my name. I am a member of the school governing body of St. Ives Primary School, as well as Klipspruit West Senior Secondary School. And I think there are a few important concerns. That school governing bodies must be given more powers, and their powers must not be restricted, because the powers of governing bodies to determine the safety of the schools is within the functions and powers of school governing bodies. And the issue of private security coming into the schools must be revoked. Let the school governing bodies empower people from their community, employ people from their community, and let the school governing bodies take charge of the safety of their schools. Because these schools are central to the community, and the functions that has been removed from the money of services that would cover security in schools, that those funds be redirected to schools, because those funds would be an added resource to making functional schools. Not most of the schools in Yalrado Park are no-fee schools. And we do not have the resources to build co-curriculum programs if we do not look at other sources of incomes for our schools. Because the minute we say a no-fee school, then gangsters think that it is a free-for-all school. But that is not what we want to do, Honorable MEC. MEC St. Ives, and I always say it with pride, I'm very proud of our school. We are not the best school in this district. We are the best school in your province. And because we are who we ask that governing bodies must be empowered and come learn. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bradley, and I'm from Moses Maran Missionary Technical Secondary School. I'm here to most likely talk to both committees about this, the violence and the gangsterism. Yeah, I heard what other people were saying, and it kind of frustrates me because the school governing body here, who are here today, they came to tell the MEC about their problems, but they've never looked into their solutions of the problems. Like, they came here to talk about, okay, I'm not against anyone, but we can't come here and say, imiti are the ones that are disturbing are causing violence, or they are against the safety of the children. No, we can't do that. But as the SGP, I advise you and give this point that strengthen yourselves at your schools. When it comes to, like, when it's parents' meetings, like, try to influence the parents to control their children on how to behave when they're at school. Because when the children come to school, it all starts at home. It all starts at home, from the parents and the siblings, the way they are treated. And that influences their mindset, and it makes them be whoever they are at school, which all leads to school vandalism, which affects everyone, every learner, even including you guys, since you want every one of your children to pass and succeed in life. So what I'm saying, that school vandalism, mostly it's because learners in school, of learners in schools, the school learners cause the break-ins, meaning that the school learners fight over power, drugs, and clothing. When I'm saying clothing and power and drugs, I mean when clothing, meaning like school children, they come to school wearing their home clothing, right? And you parents, or the SGP, you don't talk to the other parents to tell their children how to be when they're at school, which all leads to all of this. They fight for their clothing, they fight for the drugs, they fight for all this messed up stuff. And like what happened yesterday in my school, they came to fight for another child. There were people from other schools. They came to fight for a learner in school. They were gangsters. When they came, they went to the buses to confiscate some clothing and drugs from other learners. So what happened is that the teachers, they went there to stop these people. But when they were doing that, somehow the teacher got beat up by these people. He was beat up so miserably that he couldn't, like, he was frustrated, like it was a messed up situation. And as a learner, I advise, or I bring this matter upon you guys to strengthen the security in our schools. We need security in our schools. We need resources in our schools, infrastructures, walls that will protect us from all these people. And I thank you for the moment.
Good afternoon, governors. I hope you're well. On my side, I'm not well. Good day, MEC. Please allow and give me permission to spit alu through my tongue. I heard you speaking about interventions that the department has brought about in terms of strengthening the security of the schools. I heard you speaking about security. having securities at school. We did have a security company at our school, but lately the contract ended. I don't know why or how, but a lot of schools right now are sitting without that security that you were telling us about right now. And when you look at it, it's not only about the violence part of things, why we need the security at the school. There are more reasons that at the schools, there's resources, there's machinery that are at the school. Without those security people who are there, I mean, we might as well close the school because everyone's gonna do whatever they want to do. We're gonna lose those resources and then go back to square one again. And then secondly, can you please, if you can on your side, can you please have the security back at those schools as soon as possible? Because of right now, as the student just spoke, yes, it's something that happened yesterday, whereby a teacher was in a fight with people from outside, inside the school. If there were security personnel by that time at the school, I believe such things wouldn't have happened. But because of the department decided to cancel the contract and leave the schools out there alone, I mean, that's why these things are continuing to happen. And one more thing, Moses Maren is a school that's in a plot. There are no communities around us. It's just a school standing on its own, of which it puts it, I mean, it's a situation that creates a risk for the school, for the children, for the teachers, because anyone can go there and no one's, is able to assist. And then secondly, I'm gonna please ask to speak to the police people, the law enforcement. The law enforcement is seriously failing us. Yesterday, they were called to the school during the incident while it was happening. While they were there at the school, during their presence, the people who came from outside to attack the teacher and the children at the school, they came with knives. And they were swinging those knives around. They were not hiding them in front of the police officers. And the response from the police officer was that they only police outside the school. They do not police inside the school. So now my question now to the law enforcement is that what should now the school do? Should we call you to come and assist us, or should we just let things be? Because teachers are teachers. They are there to teach. They are not there to enforce law. It's not their duty. We need you as law enforcement people to come to the school and assist us if we need your assistance. Not to come and judge us and tell us that teachers must then police the inside of the school. How do you police a child that has a knife? As a teacher, you are a parent to another child, to your own child. Teachers can't die for the school while the department and the law enforcement are busy not doing anything. Mr. MEC, ngiyacela sir, the school is in danger as we speak. I'm talking about people who jump the walls of the school to come and hurt students. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about parents who have the audacity to bring weapons to school to fight with other students just because of their child was beaten up. We need your assistance, Mr. MEC. We need those security people as soon as possible because of, apart from the infrastructure and the security, we don't have any schools. Our kids might as well just stay at home and learn from home. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Deborah Morris, and I'm here representing an organization called the Art of Wellbeing and also Wits University's Drama Therapy Department. Mr. MEC, I would like to propose 2 ideas or solutions. As the Drama Therapy Department at Wits, we've had the opportunity to work with different corporate organizations and also private schools who understand the value of well-being and who really seriously invest in it. And I think that's one of the things that could really assist our public schools, or schools in our area that has that are at such high risk to deal with the scourge around mental health and psychosocial well-being that everybody has been talking about. What's happening right now, as far as we can see, is that there's a lot of help being deployed to crisis intervention. And yes, the schools are in crisis, and that should be. But I think there's a gap when it comes to also being proactive and providing preventative support. So what I would like to propose for you to consider is to implement a comprehensive, outcomes-based well-being program that should be structured to support learners, educators, as well as parents. Now, the program should focus on the crises, as I've mentioned, but it should also be proactive, and that's where the emphasis should be, because think about it, there's a whole lot of other learners, such as the learners who have come to plead for assistance with, because they may not be the ones that are engaged in the crimes and things such as that, but they are the ones that are being impacted by it. And so their mental health, their psychosocial health is being impacted in a very, very serious way. So a program such as this would assist with addressing it. A program such as this should also take into cognizance that there are existing well-being resources that the GDE makes available to schools, but those resources are stretched. So a program like this would help and complement those resources and actually optimize the impact thereof. There's also the focus on all the components of well-being, because I think several people have mentioned that, they speak to their area of expertise or their area of concern, but there are various components of well-being which would include, your psychosocial, your mental, your physical, spiritual. So a comprehensive well-being program should address all of that. And what you would find is that in most private schools, you'll have a program like that that's outcomes-based, that's being monitored and reported on. With the well-being interventions that we have currently, as far as I understand in the schools, there's no proper reporting being done, there's no proper monitoring being done, at least not from what we have seen with the little involvement that we've had. The second solution that I would like for you to consider is holiday programs. When we were discussing the conversation points the other days, people were speaking about the concerns around loitering within the community when it's holiday season. So what happened to all the holiday programs that we used to have in the past, the VBS and so forth? So I think there's an opportunity for libraries to play a very huge role, to host holiday programs for learners. That would be an extension of the school wellbeing program that would be implemented, just to make sure that there's a balance as well, and that there's some kind of continuity even during the holiday seasons. Thank you so much.
Wonderful ideas.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Charis Pretorius. I am on the SGB of El Domain High School in El Dorado Park. My first concern, and yes, I'm going to be long. My first concern is that it's very disconcerting that we do not have the ward councillors for Ward 17 and 18 with us here today. Apparently they weren't invited. That is a concern for me. Number two, when it comes to the Department of Education, our cries, our pleas goes unheeded. Nothing happens. When it comes from El Dorado Park and Klipspruit, nothing happens. We don't get responses to our emails. We can send it from the lower echelons of the department right up to the MEC's office. There is no consideration when it comes to actually responding to the emails that we have sent. We have sent emails to the Premier's office, and those will not even respond, which clearly indicates that as far as the Department of Education is concerned, the scraps and the little that they do for us is good enough for the people of El Dorado Park. And right now, MEC, I am here to tell you that it is not good enough. You have done absolutely nothing when it comes to the violence that we've experienced at our schools. You sent out security guards that were here on a pro rata basis. They were working from month to month, and then you send 6 day, 6 night, and now it has changed to 2 day and 2 night, which means that our problems aren't as bad as we make them out to be, and that is a concern. I am also concerned about the fact that the organization that I represent, which is the El Dorado Eldorado Park SGB Forum has not been recognized by the office of the MEC, nor by the office of the district director when it comes to our plight and the problems that we have in Eldorado Park. So I'm concerned that organizations such as the Intervention Committee are given 8 minutes, and we, the people who are actually living it as SGBs in the schools every single day, are given 2 minutes. It is disrespectful. You have not come here to tell us what you are supposed to do, because you have known about our issues and our challenges and our problems for years. And we constantly have to stand in lines and be limited by directors and officials telling us how long we can speak for, but you are not telling us what you can and will do for us. And that is a problem. Because you've known about what's been happening in our schools. It is not a thing from today. We had matriculants last year writing exams when we had to have private security come in. Because SAPs, let's not even talk about SAPs. Let's not talk about SAPs, because they respond when they choose to respond. And then we are told that they don't have vehicles. I'm sure that Eldorado Park SAPs got additional 3 vehicles. So shouldn't that be putting them on 56? Because that is what we were told, right? They had 53 vehicles originally. So MEC, I am sorry. HOD, I'm sorry. MPL, you know how I stand and how I feel about the community of Eldorado Park and Klipspruit West. And I am tired of the fact that you come in here and you tell us what you want us to do to help you. You sat here and you blamed our parents, but government took away the rights of parents when they said there's the Child Protection Act and the child has rights. How are we going to discipline them if you take their side when it comes to us disciplining our children? When it comes to corporal punishment in schools, you said we're doing away with corporal punishment. So how are our teachers supposed to discipline those ill-disciplined children? So please, sir, don't come in here and tell us that it's our fault. We take full responsibility for the fact that yes, we have failed our children when it comes to their discipline. However, you have not helped us in ensuring that we can move forward, because clearly your department only comes in here, and I mean really the Premier was the MEC of Education. Look how much he's done for us. So in all fairness and honesty, sir, please don't come in here and lie to us and run a talk shop, because ultimately we have not seen your people on the ground. We have not had support from psychosocial. We've had psychosocial come in, yes, and they say, oh, your school is too disruptive, we can't do anything about it. So don't tell us that those things are there, because we need to see them. They need to be tangible in order for us to see that you actually are interested in doing something for Eldorado Park and Klipspruit West. Thank you.
Thank you so much to all the inputs. I know many of you have wanted an opportunity to say something, but as officials will still be here. And yeah. Yeah. I'm noting your hands, sir. What we'll do now, we're going to request a representative from the police or Department of Community Safety who has been delegated to come and respond to some of the issues that were raised, or whatever input that wanted to share with this meeting today. They are not here. Oh, they are here, yeah. So those of us who have never had an opportunity will find space just to give you space, just to engage with us, so that we make sure that even your voice is heard. You will introduce yourself, members, according to this it is. Yeah.
Thank you very much, MEC, HOD, DDG, Bishop, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. My name is Nonhlanhla Dlamini from the Department of Community Safety. I'm the director responsible for the Central Corridor, which is the Johannesburg district. I would like to say we have had the concerns around issues of safety, especially pertaining to police response. Police are not perfect, but you all know that there's a challenge of resources, ma'am. And I would appeal MEC to say, maybe when you engage with the Premier, highlight this issue of resources to say, let's have an escalation so that we are able to address issues of school safety and deploy vans in and around schools. But I also want to play devil's advocate, MEC, and say, you know, in relation to crime, crime happens in communities, like you are saying, and then it translates into the school community. It is us who know the criminals. It is our children who are criminals. It is our family members who are criminals. But most of the time, we do not report, and we might not be reporting because, yes, we are afraid that the police will be saying so and so reported in other instances. But there are a lot of police persons who are doing a whole lot of good work, who are responding quickly to incidents of crime in communities. They might not be here today, but in many other communities, they are there. Now, there are also systems of reporting. Communities can report if they've got problems in communities around police. There are station commanders. There are different levels of reporting. No, hold on. Hold on. Please hold on. I'm not done. I am not done. I am not done. Please hold on. There are various levels of reporting in communities. I will repeat. There are various levels of reporting in the police station. There are various levels of reporting. If you're not getting joy with the station commander, there's the district commander, there's the provincial commander. But besides that, within the department, we have a complaints line where you can register your complaints. There's a lady, Usis Lucy, I think she's left. Is she still here? Uhambile. She raised an issue about patrollers and teachers who steal milk. It's important to report. Report those. If we are chonchwa, report those so that we are able to deal with the patrollers that steal milk and get them out of the system. So it's not very helpful to come and complain as community members without us taking the relevant action. I'm going to give you the complaints line when I'm done. But equally, parents, when we have meetings, MEC, together with your department and social development, it's the parents whose kids are not problematic that come to meetings. A lot of parents don't participate in their kids' lives, and they expect police to come and respond. They expect teachers to be social workers and everything. Schools are not dumping sites for our kids' problems. Yes, teachers can help. They have psychosocial services available, but there are many other systems that are available in communities for us to be able to get assistance. We've got NGOs in-house. They are tabling their plans to say, how can you best assist us? So let us work together to make sure that even parents, community members, there must not be a school that is damaged while you are here. Because you're supposed to be taking care of these schools. It is your futures, it is your kids' future that you need to be mindful of. Participate in structures that fight against crime. We need people to be part of the community safety forums. We need people to patrol. No one must come and say, but in our school there's no one who's patrolling. Who must patrol for you? Who must patrol for you? So we need people to be active against crime. Colleagues, I did say, hold on. Okay, I apologize. I apologize. I apologize. I apologize. Apologize. Can I give you the complaints line? Can I give you the complaints line? May I please give you the departmental complaints line? Can I request those who wanted to take it? I'm going to request to give you the complaints line. It's 011 689 3600 689 3600. And I'm going to give you a cell phone line to call Sinetemba if you have problems with the police. His number is 066 472 6099. We have also heard that in Kliptown, we will try and deploy wardens, MEC. We will try to deploy wardens in the schools that have got problems. Thank you very much, community. You are welcome to join us fight against crime. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. I think let's continue engaging. Listen. Okay. These numbers are very important. If you have not heard the number, let me repeat. There's a landline. It's 011 689 3600. Let me repeat again. It's a landline. 011 689 3600. Then you also have a cell phone number. It belongs to Sinetemba Nzimande. Sinetemba Nzimande. The number is 066 472 6099. Can I repeat? 066 472 6099. For all your complaints, you can phone those numbers, then you should be able to get the necessary help. At this point, let me call the MEC to the podium so that the MEC can not necessarily respond, but also share his thoughts about all the inputs that he has captured today. Over to you, MEC.
No, thank you, Program Director. Firstly, look, the director needs to withdraw those comments. And now we've heard you must just find a way of apologizing to say who must patrol. That is wrong. I know not fast, it's fine. The role of law enforcement and the oath that you take, police, you say is to serve and protect. So when we're expecting you to do that, it's an oath that you took, that this is what I'm going to do. So the director is wrong. And I humbly say, just take the apology, but the police must do their work. The wardens must do their work. All the law enforcement agencies that we have must do their work. And that is to protect our communities and protect our people, and most importantly, to protect our children. That's what we expect from you. Parents and communities and schools, learners, I've heard you. I'm not going to stand here and say I'm going to respond and protect and defend myself. I said I'm going to listen, and I'm going to take notes, and I'm going to give feedback. The biggest issue is you say we don't respond when you send messages. We don't respond to your emails. We don't respond to your queries. It's an issue that we are writing down with the HOD, that communication clearly is a problem. Because if people don't have information, they'll continue to believe and remain at that point up until they get the correct information. so that they can move to other issues if they are there of concern. But what I want to appeal, I never said we're not going to put resources. We have to secure resources. We have to fix the fences of schools. And I've heard a proposal of Clearview. We are looking into that. We are going to ensure that we continue to invest in infrastructure, because you can't expect learners to study when there's a broken window in winter. Those are basics that we need to do to make sure that the learning environment is conducive for development. That is our job. It's our responsibility that is enforced in the Act. It's law that we have to make sure that the environment is conducive for teaching and learning. That one is a non-negotiable. Today we're here to pick up the issues and, more importantly, the proposals. One of the key proposals that I've had here is the local economic development, where we utilize HOD, the locals, to secure our schools. That came out very vehemently, not from one, but a couple of speakers, that yes, we want to protect our school. Yes, we acknowledge that security helps, but please make sure that those people who come in here are people who are from the community, who relate with the community, who know the community, and who is willing to serve the community. That aspect has been held very well. Because ultimately, one of the things that these Imbizos must come out strongly with is the role the community plays to secure our schools. We've heard that one. It came out very strongly. And I've heard the learners from Cliffspruit and our child here that our kids need our protection. They just want us, when we live here, to leave them with a certain hope that our parents met, because we're here as parents. Our parents met, and our parents have committed to, together with those who are responsible, discharged with the responsibility of the Department of Education, to have a set of actions that will ensure that teaching and learning takes place, they are safe in the school, and they're able to perform. The HOD was giving me a report about the performance of Cliffspruit, a secondary school. It's very worrying. It's very worrying. And yes, we've got intervention. I'm not going to labor on those interventions that we're doing in the school. The school leadership and the learners will actually get to see. But at the ultimate, the child was speaking about being safe. The learner said the teacher got attacked. I don't feel safe. And that's why we are here. Nothing else. How do we secure our schools? What role can we play as parents or as community members? The director also said something very important, that the people, the perpetrators who are disrupting our schools, who are attacking our schools, who are vandalizing our schools, come from our own homes. And we're not saying anything about that. We're not saying anything about that. Because they belong somewhere. These children, they belong somewhere. They don't belong, or these perpetrators, they don't belong in the air. They've got a home. They've got families. What are we saying as families in that case? One thing that I've begun to see, especially with disruptive learners. One SGB member is correct about dyslexia, and there's some of the challenges that we have within the system. Fortunately, we took a decision as government that we are going to incorporate early childhood into basic education. That is the most progressive step in a long time, because we'll be able to identify kids' problems at ECD so that we don't force them to go into the mainstream school, but get them into schools that are able to accommodate their challenges. So we have that one. But what I've seen with most parents, there's a parent who WhatsApps me. Their child causes violence, attacks a teacher. Then they suspend the child. She writes me a message. My child is wrongly accused. I refer the matter to the district, obviously, for intervention at that level, because I'm the last arbiter. When it comes to me, it's the final decision. You can't even go to the minister. Unless I'm violating your human rights, then it's another aspect of the child. So they deal with that. Somehow, they agree to bring back the child to school. The child does something worse this time. He stabs the teacher now. And I asked the parent that you were saying your child was falsely accused. You said to me, this child is accused falsely. Now the child has gone to do worse, try to kill the teacher. So you see where the problem is. That's why I emphasized in my opening remarks on the role and the responsibility of parents. That we need you. I'm appealing. We need you. Don't worry, you'll get money soon. It's luck, don't worry. So don't feel. Yeah, it is like I think so. I believe. Yeah. It's a blessing. Yeah. We are here to appeal to parents. We just want you to play that role, just as a parent. And we've even gone to a point where I've said, just ask your child 2 questions every day. How was school? Do you have homework? Just 2 questions every day. That's what I'm asking that as a parent you do. Ask the child. He might not or she might not tell you the first day. But after a week or so, the child will say, I'm being bullied by so and so in school, if the child is bullied. Or no, we are struggling. The teachers are not teaching us. They are not coming to class. That is the responsible parenting that we want. That's all we are requesting from parents. Just those 2, active participation in your child's life. We call parents meetings. I know schools call parents meetings. Parents don't come. But I know sometimes the learners don't inform them. Sometimes the learners don't inform them. And I've said to teachers and schools that technology is there to help us. I don't believe 80% of parents have smartphones and they have WhatsApp. So as a teacher, you can just create a WhatsApp group of parents, of your learners in class, and use it to communicate with your parents. That will not harm. It's free of charge. Just a simple utilization of technology just to keep parents abreast. One of the contributors here spoke about social workers or psychiatrists in school. That is what we really need that. But due to budgetary constraints, I'm sure you've seen that we're fighting to keep educators in school already. We do need social workers in school. We do need them, it's a fact. And it's something that we're looking at within the system on how to then create. Because social workers will help us to profile every child. They are going to help us every quarter to speak to every child so that we know this child is from a child-headed family, this child has been abused at home, why is this child sleeping in class, what is the problem? Then we're able to zoom in and individually deal with the problems before they grow big. We do need them. So we're coming up with plans that possibly we need to maybe upskill a set of educators in the school to take up that task. of being able to speak to the child because of the capacity. The only social workers we have, we're given 120 from the MOA that we have with this Department of Social Development, and they're too little compared to the challenge, the enormity that they have to deal with. We've got more than 2.4 million, or how many kids? Yeah. We've got 2.7 million children that were possibly supposed to service by that number of social workers. So you can see that it's difficult for them. So we have to come up with plans, utilizing our own infrastructure to ensure that we resolve that. I agree, we need God. Pastor, leave Muti. The child told you, don't say when we are attacked is Muti. And it's right, you can't say the child is attacked. But we need prayer. No, we do need divine intervention. I'm the first to admit. So those assemblies must proceed. Whether it's on a Monday or... I've appealed to the faith-based organization to say, go to schools, adopt a school, whether it's a Monday or Tuesday or whatever day that there's assembly, just pray for these children. You know, just pray for them. That can go a long way. Because assembly stopped in some schools. But I've seen that those who still continue with assemblies have got better discipline than those that have stopped assemblies. So assemblies must continue. And this is what I told the department, Honorable Chair. I've told them that some things we used to do, for some odd reason, we stopped. We need to go back, because not everything that we got was wrong. Assemblies were right, because we needed to, in order to bring our children into one space and speak and communicate with them and share issues and deal with challenges of the school, because that way you bring everybody on board. So pastors, you do have a role to play in our schools. Get schools, work with them. Law enforcement, police, you've been mentioned many a times. I don't know if you are listening or not. I don't know, but the issue is one. The communities, it doesn't matter what kind of program we have. When it comes to police, the issues are always the same. They don't respond, we can't find them, the dockets get lost. All those stories persist. It doesn't matter when. I'm not responsible for safety or police. I don't know what is the true rationale or reasoning why there are these challenges that are continuing to be identified. But from our side as education, a van at a high-risk school goes a long way. I hear resources. The provincial government bought 400 cars, direct. We bought cars for SAPS. We donated those vehicles. Those 3 Series BMWs, the Premier was opening. Where are they? Take those cars from the freeway and put them in a school in the morning. And when the child are in class, you can then go and move and monitor the freeway. Unless you are chasing a hijacker or a murderer running on the freeway. That's a different aspect. But this is what I'm going to appeal with the Premier. That these cars that we bought, can you just link them to schools? Especially schools where we have challenges. The child was saying a teacher was attacked in the morning trying to intervene. If there was a van there, I can tell you, I doubt that the situation could have escalated to that level. Just by visibility. So I'm appealing with law enforcement, especially SAPS, that adopt a COP program. Let's get it to work. Let's get it to work. It will go a long way. Metal detectors, it's fine. We'll look into it. We'll look into it, metal detectors. Especially the reasoning that was given that obviously the time constraint to search 1,000 learners takes too long, and we don't want disruption in teaching and learning. So mostly are comments. If I didn't respond to, don't say I didn't write it down. It's here in my book. It's about 6 pages of notes that I've noted from school sports, the necessity of school sports, and the extracurricular activities. It's noted, all of it is here. But in my conclusion, the HOD says, and this proverb, it takes a village to raise a child. And government says, we don't want to leave no one behind. And that is our motto. We don't want to leave any child behind. And that village is all of us. It's all of us. SGB, we can't give you more powers. I don't know what powers you want. But we can't give you powers. The next thing you are Rambo in school. And then you are just attacking, threatening everybody. No. Your powers must be limited to rights. I hear that the children, look, we are governed by the Bill of Rights. Every human being has got a right. And those rights must be protected. I've had one teacher say to me, you took away corporal punishment, but you never gave us an alternative. That's what he was saying to me. But the alternative can't be to just beat up. I mean, we grew up those days of duster board. We don't know if kids' nails and hands are broken from abusive teachers from the time. We don't know that. But the rights of all must be protected, especially for our children. There are ways to get discipline right, but the first thing is to participate in the life. And to say we don't care about elders, I beg to differ there. I never said, I said I'm not going to defend, but I beg to differ. When we send security, it's not caring. When we monitor the situation in the schools, is it not caring? When we try to get the wardens into the schools, is not caring. When we speak to police, is it not caring? We care about our children. Those kids in those schools are my children. They're mine. When between the hours in class, they are my responsibility. And I care about their well-being. That one I can tell you. Every single one of them. So to say we don't care, it's another thing. What happens outside the school premises, you've got the Ministry of Police, you've got all the Department of Social Development and others to play. But as long as the children are within my parameters, they're my responsibility. And there, I will do whatever it takes to protect them. The emergency securities that you see that we put in our school, it's an unfunded mandate. We don't have funding for that. It doesn't exist in budget. But we had to find it because there was a problem that needed to be addressed. The police were not acting fast enough, and the situation was getting dire and bad. And I'm happy with those parents who said, this system came, and it helped to stabilize our schools. Perfection, of course it will have teething problems. But as and when we move, we are able to see that for us, for this program to work, this is what we need. That's why we never handed over our schools to criminals. We never handed our schools to criminals. And I've told them that I'm not going to submit to criminals and thugs in our schools. I don't care if you are Faradas or Valdez, whatever gangster you are, I don't care. Not in my school. You can be gangster Faraday there, not in my school. Faradas. Barking. Fast guns. You can be fast guns, whatever, not in my school. And discipline. And one parent spoke being very helpless. No. When I say close the gate, close the gate. Discipline is a non-negotiable. We close it, we'll speak to them outside. But they will wait to see others studying. I can tell you, after some time, you will never see them coming late. Discipline must be discipline. We need to be strong on discipline, especially in enforcing our own disciplinary code in schools. You have to be strong and decisive on discipline. Because once you begin to become soft there, you will never have a school. You will never have a school. And decisiveness on kids who are a problem, I call them rotten apples in most cases. You expel a child here, and then they appeal, of course, to me. And I say when I respond, we will only accept you at our school if you have demonstrated a rehabilitative process that is signed off by a social worker or a psychiatrist, somebody who says this child can be brought back into the school. That's the only way we'll accept you back. Otherwise, then you take this problem here, it creates a gap here, you put another school, it creates another one. Now you have a WhatsApp group of 2 schools with gangsters created by the very same child. We can't have that. So when I write, I'm specific to the parent that your child will only be accepted in our schools upon demonstration that this child has undergone some form of rehabilitation. And it needs to be signed off by an authorized professional to say this child can come back. Because once that child comes back and there's a problem, I also hold that professional accountable. That you say this child is back, it means you have not done your work. That's the only way to get our schools right. Otherwise, we will not get them right. If we are pussyfooting around with discipline. So discipline is a non-negotiable, but it can't work without parental involvement at all. So parents, take active participation in the life of your child. That's all I'm asking, and that's all I'm appealing for. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, MEC, for your inputs. And I think the meeting will find comfort that this is not going to be the end of the engagements. It may not necessarily come in a form of an Imbizo, but the officials that are dealing with this program, especially the QLTC, will be convening meetings at district level so that we can further iron out those issues, so that when we present the full comprehensive program to say this is how we're going to deal with issue of safety, at least everybody will have participated without me giving them 2 minutes. But you'll understand that if it was not 2 minutes, everybody was going to want to talk for 10 minutes. By the time we leave here, Kaizer Chiefs will have lost the game. So we don't want to do that. So with that said, may I thank all of you, but let me allow the MEC and the entourage first to leave. Then from there, those of us who still have the papers that you made your comments on, please bring them forward. And those of us who still want to engage with us, who will be outside here, you can come to us on one-on-one, and then we can engage. Thank you so much for your patience and for spending this day with us. You are free to go and enjoy soccer and other things. Thank you so much.
Baba. This is a recycled document.
Oh, you said
Yeah, you can have it.
Where's the soft copy? I know you are good with soft copies.
Okay.
You still have my email address.
Let me give you the email
Yeah,
address.
because it's easier with the soft copy. Blah, sharp. Hey, Babolu says next week and go.
Yeah, let me take your email address.
Yeah.
It's a recycled document. Talks about gangsters.
Yeah, please take my email address. Do you have a pen there?